All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Officer Tatum Show. We got a whole bunch of sugar, honey, iced tea to talk about. Donald Trump isn't playing around, and I know just like all of you guys, I'm kind of tired of Iran, but I do trust the president, and I trust that he's going to put us in a position to be as successful as possible in this country. Jimmy Kimmel decided to open his nasty, narrow behind and say something crazy about Spencer Pratt and got embarrassed, if you ask me. Then the riots that have gone on after the nearly beheading of a person in Europe, in Ireland. I think, what is it, Northern Ireland? And I think it's very interesting that we're seeing the fallout of these immigrants who do not assimilate and should not be in these countries deciding to kill off people that are born in these native countries. And it's embarrassing to me. We're going to talk about it because that same thing is going to come right here to America if we're not careful. And also, before we talk about any of that, we have breaking news. Karmelo Anthony updating the case. They're filing for an appeal, which I don't think they have a chance whatsoever. And also, we're going to talk to the attorney, Sean Kent, who was Rick Child's attorney in that case where the store owner shot the young black man as he pulled a gun on Rick Child's son. So hold the phone. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm excited to talk about these things today because I feel like that God has given me an opportunity to bring clarity to some of these unclear situations. I want to first off say thank you all to all the members that support us. We really appreciate you. Trust me, your membership and your support and sacrifices don't go unnoticed. I really appreciate you guys all the way from the officer level up to deputy chief. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and thank you guys for blessing us with what God has blessed you with. And I hope that you are entertained by post-show clarity and some of the exclusive content that we put out, having access to the videos and stuff early. All of those things, we appreciate offering that to you as a member. But let's talk about the Karmelo update because he is now, his family and his attorneys have now filed for an appeal. Let's get into that real quick. Roll the clip.
Moments ago, Texas teen Karmelo Anthony plans to appeal his murder conviction in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year when they were both 17 years old. The jury sentenced him to 35 years in prison. Metcalf's father, Jeff, giving an emotional victim impact statement during the sentencing hearing. Quote, "The public response sickens me, especially when a gag order doesn't allow me to defend my son. This was never about race or politics, but what you did was to choose to make it about both. We all bleed the same color. You are free to make choices all your life, but you are not free to not face consequences." Correspondent Brooke Taylor reporting live from McKinney, Texas, with the latest. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Martha. We just got word that Anthony's legal team has filed that notice of appeal, but just seconds ago, we wrapped up an interview with the district attorney and the lead prosecutor on the case. I could tell you they are extremely confident with the verdict here. There was no cameras in the courtroom, so it's our first time really hearing from them. Take a listen to what they told me their reaction was.
Just relief. Relief that 12 members of our community, the jurors, saw it the same way we did, that this was murder, plain and simple, and then they saw punishment like we saw it, that he needed a lengthy prison sentence.
I was relieved. I thought it would be murder, but until you hear it, of course, a jury can do whatever they want as long as they're following the law. So I was relieved for the family, mostly.
And the jury sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years behind bars for fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet. Both the DA and lead prosecutor told me they were satisfied with this sentence, even though Anthony faced up to 99 years behind bars. They also said that they were prepared for Anthony to take the stand, and they hoped that he would. Now, I asked what they believed the strongest piece of evidence here was. They both pointed to the surveillance footage, despite being grainy and shot across the field. They said it reinforced their argument that Anthony wasn't surrounded and this was a one-on-one confrontation despite the defense's self-defense claim. Now, the lead prosecutor told me the national spotlight, it definitely added pressure, but he said they had to tune out that noise, and some of that noise played out in the courtroom. Martha, he told me that race was certainly not a factor, and have people actually pay attention closely to this case and hear what the witnesses had to say, they would know that.
Let me give my commentary on this real quick. I don't think he will be successful in an appeal. You can't just appeal things. You can by law. You can appeal things if you don't feel like it was fairly presented in your first hearing. But you can't just appeal things because you don't like it and you think you're going to somehow get a different outcome when the facts and circumstances are exactly the same. You cannot go to a track meet with a knife. You cannot refuse to leave a tent when somebody asks you to, and then you have witnesses who are black. This is the thing that bothers me about this. And black folks are the most racist people in America. And I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute. But I just want to say the only people making this about race are black people. The jury was not all white. And then also the witnesses, the eyewitness testimony that convicted Karmelo Anthony was testimony from black people who saw what happened. Wrong is wrong, man. I don't care if he's black, green, or orange, man. You don't kill anybody and stab somebody in the heart in a conflict in a game when it's a one-on-one situation. And, there's a reason he didn't take the stand. I'm going to talk to Sean Kent, which is the lawyer of Rick Chow, who he got a lot of backlash as a black man because he was defending a person who killed a young black man. And I'll say this too. Nobody's complaining. They saying this about race, but Karmelo family hired a white attorney. Why y'all not mad at that? He hired a white attorney whom they thought was the best attorney to defend him when in the defense of the situation. But let me get to the sentencing real quick because that was alluded to. 35 years in prison. To be honest, I think it was very fair. I think the jurors decided that they were going to be a little less punitive on the back end, given the fact that he was a young man, given the fact he was 17, given the fact that it wasn't as egregious as if he premeditated and showed up at the thing just to stab people. And I think they did the right thing. I think his father would have liked more, but I think that they did not go low enough for me to feel like they gave him too much sympathy, and they went high enough to justify his behavior even as a 17-year-old. But I want to look at what the media is talking about because I think this is very important for you to understand the full perspective. And I also love to show you guys how people are viewing this depending on what side you're on. The leftists are talking about it like this. Listen to how they frame this. Don't look down. This is what Austin Metcalf's dad said to Karmelo Anthony when he gave the victim impact statement. He says, "Don't look down." The father demanded that Anthony look him in the eye in the courtroom showdown as racial tensions rise over the verdict. Why are they interjecting racial tension that did not exist in the courtroom? This is not about race. Why don't they articulate in the title what the father actually said? And the father said it wasn't about race and it never should have been about race, and people should quit bringing it up. Anthony convicted of murder, sentenced to 35 years. So some of the other reporting from the left is standard reporting, but this number one story from Atlanta Black Star decides to make it about race. Surprise, surprise. You go to the other side, same kind of article or same kind of articulation of what was presented by the father in court. It says, you can't look me in the eye, but you can stab my effing son. It's funny that the right decides to use this quote and the left decides to use the other quote. And I think it's a telltale sign. And then you go on to Cardi B with her retarded self. I don't like to call people retarded. So no offense to people who, get offended by that word. But regardless, let me change the way I say that. I like to be respectful. Even some people don't believe that. But Cardi B is silly. And to be honest, she should be ashamed of herself that she don't have all the facts and information, but she's disseminating this out to the black community as is gospel truth. Cardi B criticized Karmelo Anthony's murder verdict after Texas imposed 35 years. She said it's disgusting. She said it's not justified. They just try to make an example out of him. Making an example out of him would give him life in prison. He did kill another person. So as you can see, and I want you guys to always be informed. Go and check this out. Look at all sides. Go look at the left. Look at the right. All you got to do is go to ground.news. All of y'all that follow me know I love and support ground.news. So go to ground.news/Tatum, and you can get 40% off the unlimited plan. That's the plan that I use. Don't be cheap. Get in there. You got 40% off. Get full access so you don't have to have modules not showing. Have it all so you can be informed like I am. This is why your boy is informed, because I know what they're saying on both sides. All right? Before we get to that, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to do a helpless pitch to Verdict Bourbon, but I'm not going to do it. Let me wait till after this to do it, because I don't want y'all to get mad at me. You put I ain't going to lie, the title is kind of, what's the verdict? Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty is actually really good, but he was found guilty. Anyway, let's get to, I think we have some clips from the sentencing, because I want you guys to kind of hear how the news reported on it. Wrote a clip.
Fox News alert: the jury just sentenced Karmelo Anthony. We're going to be back with Brooke Taylor, who's live outside the courthouse. What do we have?
Hi, Jesse. Some pretty breaking news to give you right now. The jury has sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years behind bars after finding him guilty of murder.
So you guys kind of see how they reported on it when it first happened. I think it was fair, like I said. But let's look at the fallout from the family. This is the part that gets crazy to me. This is portions of the family leaving the courtroom, and I don't blame the family to a certain degree, right? If this was my kid or something and he did something poorly, I would want to support him all the way to the finish line, right? I mean, meaning that I want to support that he get the proper outcome. If we didn't gave all that we can to make sure the justice system is completely fair, then I would go all the way to the Supreme Court and everything that I can. And then if we've done all we can do, you got to do life in prison. You got to do life in prison. I'm just saying that a father and a family will fight for their kid even if they kid wrong. Now, I'm not going to lie on my kid or lie for my kid or try to do a GoFundMe when I know my kid was wrong, but I'm going to go through the process. To be quite honest, I probably would. I'm just saying that I probably would. Most people, maybe they say they wouldn't. I don't know of a person that have your kid and you know your kid made a mistake. You'll try to do your best to get them in a position to be reconciled back to the family. I'm just saying. So I don't blame them on that. But I do blame them on trying to push that this was about race. You need to be honest with yourself about what your kid did. Roll the clip.
We love justice for Karmelo. Justice for Karmelo. We got this. We got this. We overcame it now.
Back off.
So here goes. Pause it. Listen to what this woman said, and this is obviously, I don't think that's his mama. His mama don't look like that. But this must be members of the family or people who had grandma. This is grandma. Then grandma look young. This is probably y'all messed up anyway. Grandma and mama was 2 years apart. So, all right, roll the clip. Racist, bias, prejudice. So those black kids that testified against him are racist and biased and prejudice. They the ones got convicted. The jury didn't convict him. They didn't convict him on their own. They didn't just come up and look at a video. There was testimony from other black people that convicted him or that got him convicted. All right, listen to these other statements. And this is why I say black people are the most racist people in America by far. Let me preface this because I want people to understand that I'm fair. I think these things through. I don't know if it was because the past racism that existed against black people and they're matriculating this stuff down through generations and now have become just as racist and evil as they claim white people used to be. Listen to what they saying after the verdict was read. Roll it.
Collin County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Dalworth, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe for none of you white folks to come out this weekend. I'm giving y'all. Let me just pause this real quick. Just so you know, my dad retired as the fire chief of Keller Fire Department. So y'all act like these people just racist. They elected, hired a black police chief. I mean, a fire chief. My dad honorably served and retired from that agency. And these racists
ridiculous black people are trying to make it all like it's all white people, just racist. These racist white people in Keller and all these. Stop being stupid. I even think that Plano chief was black at some point. They like Texas. Roll the clip.
A fair warning right now. And guess what? It's going to be a bunch of outside that look like me. And we ain't out there with no pocket knives. We out there with these. I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Karmelo. If you don't believe me, bring y'all bold ass out this weekend.
Don't tell me a smoke detector went off. Don't tell me I'm finna quit the show. Did this man just do a threat video talking about white people in his smoke detector case? Roll it back. Let me see if that's what I really heard.
I guarantee y'all gonna pay for what that judge just did to Karmelo. If you don't believe me, bring it.
I'm quit. I quit. You can't make this up. Change it. What? Change your smoke detector. Let me say this. I'm not trying to be funny, nothing. God is my witness. I don't know if it's in black people's DNA where we don't have our eardrums is set up different, where we don't hear that. When I first started my show, when I was living in Marana, in my middle room, and I used to do a podcast and record videos, my smoke detector went off. And I didn't hear it. And people kept telling me, change the smoke detector, change the smoke detector. And I was like, why people worry about my smoke detector so much? I don't know what it is, man. Black people just, I don't know what happened to us. We evolved to where we don't hear a thing. That dude on here talking crazy to white people with a smoke detector going off. Every stereotype you can think of, he just lived it. But just imagine if a white person said that. Matter of fact, show me a video where a white person got online and said, all you black people, we gonna catch you outside. No, dummy. That's what got Karmelo Anthony in trouble. Y'all being stupid. You gonna go assault people for no reason. I'm finna show you an example of assault. Instead of him saying, we gonna be out there with these, he should have said, we're gonna be out there with these. That means behind bars with your silly self. Look at what they doing to white people out in the road. Roll the clip.
Hey, wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Seriously. No, he wasn't.
He was on jury selection.
He's a vet, dude. He's a vet. He's a vet. He ain't been on jury selection.
I ain't worried about that. You gonna die.
Quit, dude. The bus is coming.
You on jury? Wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
You on jury selection?
He wasn't.
You was on jury selection?
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No, he wasn't.
Not for Anthony, not for Karmelo Anthony. Oh. All right, my beat. I thought you was on jurisdiction for Karmelo.
Now apologize to him, dude.
My beat. Man, what?
Now, imagine white people doing that today. I just like to point that out. Like, on video, uploaded to the internet, he assaulted a person, which is a felony crime if the guy was on jury duty. He hit the guy knowing that he wasn't on jury duty because he wanted to punch a white man who's actually a veteran that served our country. The most racist people you ever met. There's some more. Look at this. This is. I want y'all to understand this. Some people work with this guy right here that's in his camera. Some of y'all work with him. I bet he working at a warehouse somewhere with a whole bunch of white people. And he playing nice to y'all in y'all face. But when conflict happened, black people, not all, but a lot of these black people's true colors come out. And this is how they really feel about you white people. Listen to what this man said.
Lives don't matter.
I'm saying that because y'all want to play these games. Y'all want to play these crackhead games, so I'm gonna play them. White lives. How about that? How about that? I hate the white people. Black lives.
I take that back. Hold on. I tell you that he's probably unemployed. Let me not lie. He probably ain't got no job. That's why he out here acting like this. And he got time to sit out here and be racist because he probably unemployed or he a street pharmacist. One of the two. If he do have a job, he need to lose his job. If it's somebody working for me, I don't care what side you on. You get out on TV and you are calling black, white, or anybody racial slurs because you don't like a verdict. You will not work for me. I will fire you. Don't even worry about coming to work no more. You just might as well. You might as well just stay at home. Don't even talk to me. Send an email to my COO. Don't even talk to me. You getting fired. If you show up here, I'm gonna lecture you while I'm firing you. Roll the clip.
I'm holding this up. That's it. I'm holding this up. Listen, guys, holding this up. You know why people are talking to you. You're acting surprised to your black.
So a white man tried to give him a hug. Put him on the screen. Oh, no, I think we all. White man tried to give him a hug and reconcile. But they don't like y'all. They hate y'all. And I'm going to give you a little secret here. And this is not every black person, but I grew up in Fort Worth, and I know how I used to feel about white people. When you're black, generally speaking, and you live in a black neighborhood, meaning that you're not exposed to white people often, you begin, because of propaganda, media, the elders of the community, some of them pass down trauma that you never experienced. You begin to hate white people. You begin to have a disdain for white people. You begin to build this proverbial boogeyman in the white man. So therefore, when you go to a gas station, when you go to a mall, you're already on edge because white people done black people wrong all these years, and white people are this and that, and they think you less than, and white folks, you get that in your mind. I used to feel like that. I did not like white people when I was growing up. I ain't mess with white people like that when I was growing up. And it was because my mom and them taught me that. It's society. It is society, and being black in America and your celebrity people that you follow, musicians, it's all this tribal behavior against white folks. And I think this is what got Karmelo Anthony in trouble, because of his disdain for white people internally. And at the moment of conflict, it's exaggerated hatred that does not need to happen. So when a white man tell you with all that hatred you have, hey man, you need to move. Now you summoning your ancestors and you thinking about slavery and Jim Crow and all this stuff where the man just asked you to move out the tent. So now you feel defensive. A white man gonna tell me what to do. Y'all always trying to tell us what to do. You think you run it and then you get all worked up. The white boy like, man, I'm not finna fight you at a track meet. I'm civilized. But the young black man ain't thinking like that. He is receiving and perceptualizing pain that he never experienced because of what he think his ancestors went through and all of those stupid stuff they brainwash us with when we're young. And that's probably what caused him to stab Austin Metcalf. Listen to some more foolery to prove my point. Roll it.
The thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family because they have been legally lynched the last year. And more so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse as well as the family of the Metcalfs. So the energy right now is very white supremacy. They have shown up to be the pigs that they display with hate. They are celebrating the loss of life and the loss of freedom. So that's the energy.
Time out.
We have a devastating.
Only one person lost their life, and that was Austin Metcalf. Now, Karmelo Anthony ruined a large portion of his life, but he still get to live. He still get to go to jail and get 3 hots in a cot. He gonna go there and get a master's degree and all kind of stuff they giving people in prison. He gonna have his little iPad. He can be talking to his mom and them on his iPad, looking at movies. Maybe at some point when he get old enough, he'll have conjugal visits. He's going to be able to do all of these things, and eventually he's going to be available for parole. He's going to get out of prison. He's going to go on and live his life with a stain on it, but he's still alive. Austin Metcalf lost his life. Karmelo Anthony is still alive. This is the brain dead behavior and mindset of some of these black people. Roll it.
Family who didn't know that they was going to have to let their son go back into a holdover because we have an overzealous prosecutor. who lied throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses in order to be a saving grace for the white community.
Time out. The defense witness they called actually said Karmelo Anthony was wrong. So don't blame the prosecution. Even the defense witnesses that they called said Karmelo Anthony was wrong. Are you saying that these black people are lying? Go ahead and say what race they are. The ones who said that Karmelo was wrong, Karmelo started it and all that stuff, go tell them what race they are. But you know that they're black, but you cannot say it on your podcast or on your little video that you're doing because you need to frame this as a racial component because you don't have the intellectual fortitude to stand up for what really happened here. This is why black people are always going to be stuck, generally speaking, is because they cannot attach themselves with reality. So they live in a false reality and they're upset with a false reality they created. Black people are mad at something that didn't happen. Continue.
So that they can win an election. That's what it feels like right now.
We already see the prosecutor made clear that he wants it to be a long sentencing.
What I heard from this man today is indicative of why it's important that it's people that look like us that are in courtrooms like that.
They were.
This man disregarded human life the entire trial. He invoked race. He equated Dallas County as being the ghetto, opposed to Frisco being safe. They propagandaed a photo of the deceased with black people around praying, saying this is community. They used us as a prop in order to pitch their lynching. This man has been known to be an overzealous prosecutor when it comes to us. He see us as what was the statement that free labor? That's what he see us as. So I'm not surprised that this prosecutor, who has unethical background, would get up there and ask for the max when he know that this was self-defense.
He asked for the max and he didn't get the max. Where is your racism coming from? If you're saying that the white man is so bad and the white people are doing so wrong to the black man, but yet he asked for the max and they gave him 35 years. Max was 99 years. They gave him 35 years. Here's more racism. I want you guys to see how loony these people are. Roll it.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
Just like Karmelo was doing. I'm glad you just said that. That's what Karmelo was doing. Protecting his motherfucking self.
Just that face alone tell you the demons that's in some of these people. But I want you guys to hear from Charleston, because this fool, and I call him a fool, tried to bet me $50,000 that it was going to be a guilty verdict. I mean, a not guilty verdict. And now he got to go on an apology in a psychopath tour, claiming all these outlandish things with a white girl in the background. Like I wanted to respect Charleston White, but Charleston be saying stuff that's completely stupid and false. And then after we talk to Charleston or show you what Charleston said, I'm going to show y'all the interview I had with Sean Kent, who was the attorney of Rick Child, who was the store owner that shot the black kid and didn't shoot him in the back. Shot him after he pointed a gun at his son, which was present in the court of law, testimony by witnesses, or at least alluded to by the statements from Child and his son, and also witnesses didn't see what happened. Forensic evidence proved that he didn't get shot in the back. He got shot from right to left in the flank. I'm not talking to Sean about that. I'm talking to Sean about this Karmelo case, but we do have a full interview that's coming out on Sunday where Sean break down his own case and this one. But I want to play a few clips from Charleston White real quick. Roll it.
We already got the money set aside for appeals bond. Why? All white jury, the judge and the DA are buddies.
Time out. It wasn't all white jury. He's lying. There was Asians and an Indian lady on the jury pool. Why you lying, Charleston? You wrong, bro. Just say you wrong. Keep rolling.
Along with the dad, best friends. That's been our trump card. We've been holding, we already knew that.
God has spoken, and you cannot make me believe
that as many gray-haired white women on that jewelry that's dealing with white guilt about going to heaven is not gonna have no compassion about a kid that's been straight A from the time he's ever read a book in school, has no history of violence, has saved children's lives by risking his own life by jumping in to save somebody from drowning. This kid has no violence. Austin, on the other hand, is a violent brute with some sexual rape allegations hanging on his ass. That's why, man, they coerce them kids. But one thing about kids can't lie to professionals under pressure. When you was told, when you gave a statement in the beginning, you can't come back and amend it later and say, well, I meant. No, what you said that night is law. Back up right up. Right. All them white people talking about what they gonna do, they ain't gonna do shit. When Makai Johnson and Galvin Long killed them white police officers, you white didn't do a thing. Not no guilty. If you think they're gonna find him guilty and they just put manslaughter on as a charge and it wasn't on there in the beginning, you don't know law, cracker. You like the dumb white boy that had the whip. He can't spell either.
Play it.
Say now, listen, I told y'all everything I told y'all about that prayer. I told y'all, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told y'all last year the boys had dope in their system. I told y'all it wasn't a knife, it was a compass tool. It wasn't even long enough to get it, it wasn't even long enough to pierce his heart. Yeah.
Autopsy came back. The autopsy did illustrate that the weapon did pierce his heart. That's how he died, according to an autopsy. What is Charleston White talking about? This man has lost all credibility when it comes to this stuff. He talks about the black community, and some of the stuff he says is correct, but on this, he code switch. He want to be all black, and then calling white people racial slurs, and he wronger than three left shoes. I should have took that bet, but I know how stuff be happening, and you never know if you get a hung jury or not. It's all up to the jurors. He would owe me $50,000 right now, but he ain't talking about that bet he made, talking about he knew the verdict was they had a trump card. Quit being stupid. All right, so Sean Kent, I want to show y'all the interview that I did with Sean Kent, who's the attorney of Rick Child. It was an incredible interview. This was one of my best interviews that I've done. This is just about Karmelo Anthony's trial, but we went on to talk about his trial, and he divulged some things that the public never really understood as a defense attorney, and it was incredible. I want to play this clip for you. This is just his take on the Karmelo Anthony, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Roll it.
Since the Karmelo Anthony trial has ended, the backlash is starting to switch.
Yeah.
And my social media has got a lot more of, we may hate you, you coon traitor, but please go help that poor boy Karmelo. And two, one of the things that I can't, and I've mentioned this, Karmelo is a young black man accused of stealing a white child over in Texas. And he hired a white lawyer, and nobody's jumping up and down on him.
Right.
You know, nobody has said word about how dare he hire a white lawyer, because as a community, we're fine. It's like, yeah, he had to get the best. He had to get a white lawyer, but Child can't get the best because I'm black. I have to be an Uncle Tom or a token or so forth. But
and his family raised a lot of money for his defense, and I think they had I think they had this could be a rumor that's not accurate, but I saw it online and said that they had a public defender at first. I mean,
and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because I heard they had a public defender at first, and then something else happened, and then that guy who's the liaison for the family, he did not help them publicly whatsoever. I don't know if you know the guy's name.
Yeah,
He didn't help them, man, because he's not an attorney, and some of the things that he said out in public was it made the family look bad. You know, like, and when they kicked the other dad out, like when they kicked Austin Metcalf's dad out of that memorial meeting or something like that, I think it was a bad look because, you know, his son is the victim of this case, and they're being very punitive towards him. Even if you wanted to, you should give the appearance that Karmelo is not. I mean, yeah, Karmelo is not a bad kid, and his family is not punitive, and he's just a young kid that made a mistake. And we welcome reunification because both of our kids lost a lot, but they didn't do that. They wanted to make it about race, and so this white man, how dare you come here and like as if he was wrong. His son was a victim of this case, so I think their PR was a nightmare.
You have got to. You know, we have a little phrase, we say it's always be closing, and what we use it for is you're always working on the end no matter what. And that family at sentencing, that sentence could have been way different if that family of daddy was just like, you know what, this is a sweet family, this is a sweet young man, they could have calmed down. So attacking and doing stuff like that, I don't think it does any good whatsoever.
Do you think that was the right verdict?
What a great question. I don't think so. I think realistically, and now probably a better response is, could I see and understand the verdict? Absolutely.
Right.
Like I can see it, I can understand it. Texas law, the way that they understand an injury that could cause death, I get it. Things that bother me, and again, nobody watched the trial. We read it and read about it.
Yeah, they didn't.
A couple of things that they didn't publicly. Him not testifying, Brandon, is weird to me. You understand? Like in a self-defense case where I come from, and I've tried a bunch of cases, he is a young kid who is supposedly very smart, very articulate, good-looking kid, small in stature.
Yes.
My two issues with watching that trial, again, he killed a man. This is not a whodunit. He did it. He took a human life. This is Texas. And, you know, they will forgive a lot of stuff in Texas for killing another human. But you need to look him in the eye and explain, why did you feel you had to do it? Why do you have a knife? You know, answer the question no one wants to think of. Bruh, why you got a knife in your bag?
Right.
No, I've never heard an answer to that question. Like, I'm like, bro, why you got a knife? Get on the stand and tell people, look, I've been bullied. I've been threatened. I am scared. Something to humanize yourself. And I don't understand. And I did a post about it earlier, Brandon. I guess sometimes, you know, the reason we don't put people on the stands, people ask me, like, why don't you put your client on the stand? One, if I can get their story out without them subject to cross-examination, I'm going to get it in. Rick Chow is a perfect example. Remember, I told you that statement. We got Rick Chow's statement out, and he didn't have to testify. I know Rick has very broken English.
Yes.
And so I'm like, Rick, and he was offended. He's just like, I want to testify. I'm like, you would be a witness. Why? Because you have trouble with the letter R. Like I was like,
that's true. It's true. I think his son, was his son that testified?
It was his son.
It wasn't good. He because his English wasn't as good, he seemed to be hesitant on the responses, which made his credibility look bad. Even though he wasn't hesitant, it's just that he probably trying to think through the English way to articulate this, and it did not look good for him. And I was like, God dang! I mean, if his story wasn't the story, this would look bad for him.
Here's what's funny about that. Like, I love the fact, because this is the things that I go into strategy. We played his body cam in 911 tapes. So people were asking, well, why were you playing his body cam in 911 tapes? Exactly what you said. I'm like, he does not come across it. He thinks his way through and so I was like, I want to play his 911 so people see this is his demeanor. You know, that's how we think. I'm like, play it so the jury can be like, well, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. And so that's one of the reasons, like, there was that question about, do you put Rick on? In Karmelo's case, you got to put that kid on.
Yes.
You got to put a young brother on the stand to look directly at that jury and at the very minimum, apologize to the family. You know, I took your son's life.
I think if he had done that, he wouldn't have got 30+ years in prison. I think they may have been reasonable. I think his testimony could have gotten them to the jury. I think the judge gave the jury instructions that they could do manslaughter. And I think if he got on there and they saw him and if he cried or he was remorseful and he said, why do you have a knife? I forgot the knife in my bag. I didn't know it was in my bag, or something to make you feel like I didn't intentionally bring this knife to the thing looking for trouble. Or if he said, I was intimidated. I've been beat up many times. He cries on the stand. These guys were hovering over me. I didn't want to do it. I was shaky. I was scared. It was impulsive. I didn't even, after I'd done it, I didn't realize what I did. I didn't know. I was asking about it. I was checking on him. You know, the cross-examination would have been tough for him if they didn't prepare him well.
You prepare him, you work him. He's a kid. You said, so when you ask me, do I think it's the right verdict? Based upon what the jury understood, I see it. But you just hit the nail on the head. If he testifies and all the message coming out, Karmelo was sufficiently emotional. He was apologetic. He was this. Does he get 35? Does the judge hear him and say, this kid doesn't deserve 35 years? Ladies and gentlemen, and the jury comes, and the jury's like, God, he doesn't deserve it. But they never heard from him.
Because I think he may have looked like
I don't know why.
I think he may have looked like a criminal to them, right? I mean, even though his stature is there, all the testimony made him look bad, because they're saying that Austin Metcalf said, I'm not going to fight you. And he's like, and the witnesses are saying, black witnesses are saying, he initiated. He was the aggressor. He said, I'm not doing nothing. Y'all make me move. And like when I hear their testimony, I hear a voice in my mind of what he may have sounded like. If he took the stand and he's got like a soft voice and he's very like, kind of like shaky voice, you won't hear a kid saying, do something then. Y'all make me move.
Yeah, that's square up, a squat. What?
You could have asked him on the stand, what did you say? And he could have been like, I said, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I'm not moving. I don't want to move. And he sound really wimpish, you know what I'm saying? And the jury may be like, this kid is not like a thug that you would imagine that he was stabbing a kid in the heart with no remorse. And so I think that's what really killed him.
And I don't know, maybe he's got a criminal record we don't know about, and maybe they didn't want to put him on the stand because of his criminal record. So I don't want to attack the lawyer, but to me, it's easy to say, yeah, you need it. He got 35 years. How much worse could he have been if he got 35 years by not testifying?
Y'all, welcome back. That interview was incredible. This was just the part of the Austin Metcalf case, but he went on to talk about Rick Chow, and that was absolutely incredible explanation that you guys have never heard anywhere. Especially if you're not following him. But go follow him. I think we'll put the links in the description section. But before we get back to the show, I got to tell you guys about Verdict Bourbon. It's a bourbon that's smooth, it's full of character, absolutely incredible. We've had people try it, review it, and the feedback has been incredibly amazing. And whether you use guilty or, whether you're guilty or not, I'm trying not to be weird. It's a premium bourbon with flavor, with style, and a brand that really stands out. So if you go with not guilty, you have the smooth sweetness that people love, and guilty brings the bold, classic bourbon character. So all you got to do is go to verdictbourbon.com, and you got to plead your age, face the verdict, and find out if you're guilty or not guilty. You must be 21 and over, and make sure you drink responsibly. Don't be a dummy. All right? So let's get back to Jimmy Kimmel real quick because I got a meeting to go to. I'm a busy man, but I love you guys and I want to give you the information. Jimmy Kimmel is a nut job, and these people try to act as if they're not biased, and they're completely biased and stupid. You got to think Jimmy Kimmel is nowhere near California, nowhere near an attachment to California. And why is he bringing up California politics to berate a conservative? And the crazy thing is the conservative is the one that's in the race saying we need to make a change. We need to stop getting ripped off. They're using our money to defraud us. They burned down our city. Everybody else is acting like these things didn't happen, and yet he's using his platform to bash that person only because he's conservative. Roll the clip.
So now we wait to hear from Spencer Pratt. He clearly promised that if Karen Bass or Nithya Raman were elected mayor, he's going to move out of L.A. He said he was done with L.A. And Spencer, if you're watching, we are so sorry to see you go. What we do know, we're going to miss the hell out of you. You're a man of your word, and you've got to go. You said you were going to go. And I know things might be tight right now, especially the out-of-state donation money is running out. Moving is expensive. So to help you out, we rented you a U-Haul. It has plenty of room. It's got 2 beds, tables, chairs, all your crystals, whatever you want. Our staff spent the whole day decorating for you. And everybody that will notice you and wave goodbye as you leave. And I hope that you and Heidi are happy wherever it is you go. Maybe you could be mayor there. Or maybe just run for mayor and finish in 3rd place there. It could be fun for your new reality show season 2. Either way, mazel tov and goodbye, Spencer Pratt. Let us know if you want it. We'll drop it off right in front of the Bel Air Hotel.
All right, and this Spencer Pratt's tweet in his response, which is a mic drop. Jimmy Kimmel, I guess you missed the part of the story that I don't need a U-Haul. I have nothing left to pack. And not only did he say it, he showed it. What are you going to put rocks in the U-Haul? This is Spencer Pratt's what's left of this probably beautiful multi-million-dollar home.
There's my rose quartz. That's cool. Is that the big quartz? Let's see.
Now, you know how disgusting it is for you to make the fun of this guy and he lost everything? People died in that fire and lost everything in that fire. Didn't have proper insurance. Some of them didn't have insurance. No expectation that their whole community would be burned to the ground. But Jimmy Kimmel don't care. And he's going to say it anyway because it benefits his network of hating conservatives. What a dirt bag. And you know what happens, man? And they say the universe, God who controlled the universe, but God has said in principles, you're going to reap what you sow. If you are incredibly punitive and evil to other people, you just wait. One day you're going to need sympathy. One day you're going to need somebody to help you when your house burned down. One day you're going to need somebody to not make fun of you for no reason just because of the political affiliation you have. And Jimmy Kimmel, I'm just saying, one day you're going to need sympathy. And when you cry, nobody's going to listen to you. Just so you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I had a lot more stuff I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to it today. But I love you. We'll try to roll over tomorrow in the comment section. The things that I said I want to talk about, if you want me to roll over tomorrow, let me know. I love you guys. God bless you. God bless America. No post-show clarity. I gotta do an important meeting right after this. God bless you. God bless America. I'll see y'all tomorrow.